Diamonds in my teeth, I got a lot of shine. Running up the number, that's a lot of crime. Try to take it from me, must be out your mind. I'm big time, lot of sun. Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Pockets running over with the dollar sign. Try to take it from me. Yeah. Big time, big time, big time.
What up, Eagle Nation? It's your boy Prime, and welcome to episode 7. My guest today, she knows her shit. All right, watch out, boys. I mean, listen, don't underestimate her. She'll be one to go ahead and tell you because she's a female. That doesn't mean anything, you know what I mean? Don't try to play her out. Don't try to correct her because you know you will get corrected, and she has no problem telling you that. Miss AJ Jones, welcome to the show. How you doing?
Thank you, Prime. What's up? What's up? Thank you for having me.
I appreciate you taking your time to go ahead and join us tonight. Here we are, finally making this thing happen, finally getting you onto the show. For those that don't know, Miss AJ Jones is one of Fourth and Jones' biggest supporters, one of Prime's biggest supporters, and you know she definitely got mad love for Baby Prime. All right, if you guys don't know that by now, all right, always showing
little nuggets.
Always showing Baby Prime some love. We're getting closer and closer to the season. How you feeling? I mean, are you excited? I mean, you know, a lot of stuff came out this past week. Kind of got me in a mood, if you haven't noticed, the other night on the Fourth and Jones podcast. But I'm getting more and more excited to feel that way again. So, tell me how you're feeling. Like you there with me?
Well, I'll tell you, first thing, Prime, I have to say that every time the season starts slowly kind of teasing its way into the middle of the summer, I always think about, and it's selfish, I think about my birthday because September is when everything begins, you know, school for kids, bigger magazine editions, football. But honestly, I've said this on my own podcast, that I feel like the season is not going to really start to me literally until kickoff when it counts. Because even preseason is exciting to see for the rookies, but I can't really get excited about this team yet. I understand that there's a lot of apprehension, especially on my part. I'm not exactly knowing how to look at this team yet, as most of us shouldn't, because the whole team has been deconstructed. So I'm excited just for the fact that it'll be football, because obviously baseball and basketball have taken my life. And so the only thing to look forward to is, you know, good old Birds. So hopefully it'll be a welcome surprise, but I'm excited for the feeling of the football season, put it that way.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I apologize that baseball and basketball put you into that, you know, that mood, because I'm with you. You know, I was really hyped about the Sixers. You know, I think we were all talking about maybe another parade, you know, down Broad Street and stuff, but obviously that didn't happen. That didn't pan out that way. There go the memes, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Mr. Memes in the background.
Yes.
Yeah, then the Phillies, you know, they definitely ain't doing us no justice. One day, maybe 2 days. I think maybe at the most 3 days they'll give you some type of hope, and then here they go right back down to reality. So yes. I'm with you. I'm definitely looking forward to football season, and I agree with you. You know, you couldn't have said it any better. We can't get too excited off of these practice videos, off of these little dump passes, off of these long bombs that Jalen Hurts is throwing to Devontae Smith, because there's nobody guarding him, you know, and there's no lines coming after Jalen. And yeah, it all looks butter now because nothing's really happening. But, you know, I got to be one to go ahead and tell you again, just the feeling of seeing a football getting thrown is making me excited. Seeing the energy that these two kids are bringing into the season, that, you know, the fact that they're out there and actually dedicating their time to getting better on an everyday basis means a lot to me, shows me as a fan that, you know, I mean, here they want to go ahead and make some noise. And, you know, they got my support on that. You mentioned that you speak on your podcast and everything. So I know you have the Birds of a Feather. Something going on for you where you again you speak that logic. And for you guys that don't know, please go follow. Go take the time and go ahead and listen to her on Spotify and all these other platforms that you see down there. She speaks the truth, and like I said, man, just don't underestimate her because she's a female. She's on
Please
point with
don't.
hers. Yeah. So tell us a little bit more about that.
So Birds of a Feather basically was a brainstorm for myself about, I want to say 2017, literally just before the Super Bowl year, what turned out to be the Super Bowl year. I got bored with getting so much shade from certain male tweeters or people on Instagram, just basically trying to say, like, what do you know? The typical trying to deflate my ego as a female because I don't know every freaking player from way before I was born like you do. And I got to the point where Birds of a Feather to me sounded right because not only obviously we're all bird fans, bird gang, whatever, but everybody has some kind of form of love-hate relationship with this team, especially if you're from Philly or outside of Philly like me. I'm from the outside of the burbs. So Birds of a Feather became my way to vent. And then it got to the point where it evolved into social issues, whatever was on my mind. That picture's from my 40th birthday. We found that mural coming out of forget what that French restaurant was, but we were coming out of the French restaurant and we saw the mural. And I happen to wear green, so that pic is basically explaining my whole podcast right there. It was a great time. So, but yeah, it's for females in general who aren't afraid to talk, whether or not they know stats. I always stress on my podcast, I do not know stats. I don't think stats mean crap at the time of the game. It's great to go hash analytics, but I don't know and I don't care. I do research mainly. Shut up, Gail. But it basically is one of those things where people want to argue that, and it really doesn't matter because the eye test to me is really the true reveal of a fan. Like I see what I see with my eyeballs, and
that is correct.
Thank you, Dave. But females need a voice, and podcasts are the easiest way. Especially, obviously, came in handy during quarantine when we were all sequestered in our spaces and I was losing my mind. So Birds of a Feather kind of carried on to my YouTube channel under AJ Jones, where it became my live video section and it became my 5 questions. So, and eventually Prime, I'm gonna get you too, because I'm gonna start it up again. Hey. So YouTube AJ Jones is my other channel, but basically Birds of a Feather is still kind of evolving into whatever I want it to be. And the YouTube channel is just to see visuals of friends, associates, fellow tweeters or tweeps, whatever they're called, that I've met on Twitter. And there's another project about to boil tomorrow that's going to involve dating and relationship questions. So, yeah, so I'm just trying to let out excess energy through podcasts, through visuals, and I'm just trying to be like the 4th and John boys, but in my own way.
Hey, listen, at the end of the day, it's mad respect for what you're putting together. The fact that you're taking the time to go ahead and again speak that logic to the women out there, to show them that there's other ways to get the message across, with sports related, real life situations, stuff like that. So mad respect to you at the end of the day with that.
Thank you.
Yeah, before I go on, I'm seeing some of the comments here, and you're getting mad love. Strong women, girl power. From the Birdman, all that stuff. Definitely want to go ahead and thank you guys for taking the time. So shout out, Mark, always one of our biggest.
Thank you, Mark. Yes,
biggest viewers. Paul from overseas. Appreciate you always tuning in, Paul. Birdman, mad love for you. Joan, Whalen, McCabe. Thank you very much for joining. George, appreciate you coming through. All right. I know my boy Danny is watching as well. He sent me a DM. He's definitely always one of my supporters. Jordan, I see you on here. What's up, man? We got to get up soon. Your cousin is going to be coming down for that San Francisco game, so we'll definitely catch up. Mora, thank you. She's always,
very sweet.
Yeah, and a big follower of the 4th of John and Prime. So thank you guys.
Yes.
With that being said, so this week a lot of teasing was being done. With the alternate jerseys being released, everybody was quick to go ahead and send out those tweets, those the posts. Hey, the Kelly Greens are coming back, but then at the end of the night, it kind of got shut down kind of quickly, because that obviously wasn't the case. It was just letting us know that we had the option to go ahead and wear those black jerseys again, or whatever they decide. So as you come in becoming a fan, like what generations did you come into, becoming that Eagles fan?
Well, because I think most girls who, if they had their father in the house, when my parents were married, my dad was always screaming at the TV at some sport, and he was the loudest during an Eagles game. And I recall Randall Cunningham, but I don't think I was really paying attention at that time. But I know that obviously the Donovan McNabb era is obviously the more prevalent era for me, and definitely the year that led up to their Super Bowl run is where I was sucked in, because it was very fun to watch with my father. As I'm the youngest of two. So it's like, of course, he loved that his daughter was finding interest in sports, because it's like your little bond. And it's one of those things, like I said, when you're in a house, a family of four, you constantly hear your dad slamming things or reacting. If anyone ever seen the movie Silver Linings Playbook with De Niro, and how he acts, how religious he is watching a game. My dad had his spot. He wasn't that religious and superstitious with it, but it was his thing. And I think that when I grew up in that era, I realized it became a special team, especially around the time, the year before the Super Bowl. But I did live through all those interceptions that shut down that my dad was cussing to the highest heaven. Every time McNabb threw a pick. At one time, it was at my aunt's house. We watched, I think that was the Tampa Bay game. And that's when everybody in the house just was like throwing their beers. Like, you know what? Everybody just left the dining room. They were just really just heartbroken. And then, the Super Bowl came.
That damn Tampa Bay game. It's just one game I wish we could never, ever talk about, but there's no way to get away from that one. It was definitely a heartbreaker. I was one to actually, be involved in that one. And when that happened, luckily I didn't have it in me to break the TV, but I was pretty close to making that happen. With that being said, what would be your choice? Would you prefer the Kelly green or would you prefer the midnight green?
Okay, so I have grown to love the Kelly green more so because of when Vic was here during the was that the 75th anniversary game of like the NFC championship or something like that.
It was that year, that season, right.
That season, yeah. And so it is a different type of Kelly green from what we know with Randall Cunningham, but to me it was brighter, and having to go through years and years of seeing other teams wear these disgusting, ugly, like Steelers with their jailhouse, and the neon Skittles look that the Seattle Seahawks was doing. Why can't we have our fun and just have an obnoxious neon green, just for a Thursday night game or whatever. And it just seems like Lori's like, screw all of you. I prefer either midnight green. Yes, see Vic, he looked great. So I think that game, especially that's when Vic took over, obviously, because that's when McNabb went down. Or no, it was
Kevin Cobb.
Cobb, right. Cobb went down the first play, concussion, whatever. Yeah. And then, Vic lit it up. So it's like, and then obviously Shady too. So everybody has their shots and they remember from that game. Never ever bring the bumblebee blue look from Franklin. Never, ever. I had to work the link that year, and they sold like hotcakes, but I just kept thinking, what the heck are you going to do with these? Like, they're gross looking. But the midnight green, I understand why people love them. But obviously the reality is I'm more of the black jersey person anyway. But since the last year really didn't matter, because no matter when they wore their black jerseys, they still suck last year. So it's almost like I feel like they're kind of jinxed.
Yeah.
But anyways.
Leave it together.
I prefer Kelly green, but I understand the people who are like, why don't people get over it on Twitter? And I'm just like, no, because that particular year there was almost hope again with Vic, and that whole team lit it up. So whether they won or lost, it was just exciting to see that kind of revised again. So I want that kind of like nostalgia to come back. That's why I like the green.
Yeah, it definitely was good seeing those guys in those jerseys. And then I definitely didn't wish no hurt on Kevin Cobb, but the minute he went down, and then we had the opportunity to bring Michael Vick in. I mean, we signed him for a reason.
Right.
I remember, like if it was yesterday, I was in Puerto Rico on vacation, and the news came through that we signed Michael Vick. And of course, I'm getting phone calls like, hey, how do you feel about that?
Yeah.
They're throwing the negativity about, what he did and all that stuff. And I'm like, at the end of the day, like the man, he served his time. I'm pretty sure he's sorry for what he did, and you got to give him time to go ahead and prove it. But shit, at that game, dude, you proved everything to me. You proved that you want to go ahead and be in it. You want to be in the NFL again. Like, you want to go ahead and regenerate your life and correct all the mistakes that you made. And that day, I was just like more proud to be an Eagles fan, seeing that dude play the way he played, and the way the team came together, surround, like, that day was just like, wow, like it was one of my favorite games to watch. And I'm one that's definitely hoping that the Kelly Green does find its way back into the organization. I hope Jeff Lurie like cuts his shit out and decides to make the fans happy. I mean, come on, like, how much money you can bring to this organization if you just
you can unite both generations, because you got like my generation loving the newer version of the same of what they grew up on. I mean, come on. If we're known as the blue collar city, if that is going to bring generations together, is kind of uniting that love for the Kelly Green. And then even from then, we could move on to an alternative jersey, because then we kind of have that one little round again, and Jalen kind of being almost like Vic 2.0-ish if he, stays healthy. It could be an exciting, they need a spark. So it's like, to me, that's the one thing that off the board that fans will react to, and that those sales will jack up high.
Big time. So, I mean, me and Gail were talking about this the other day. I'm ready to go ahead and give up my money. Like, hey, take my money. Let's make it happen. I really feel like there's a way that somehow these two colors can collaborate. And we've seen, like you mentioned it before, we've seen other teams find a way to go ahead and collaborate all the colors that they've ever been in. Why can't we do the same thing? So I'm on the same boat to go ahead and see this thing finally come through. But here we are, just playing the waiting game.
Maybe they'll do the black and just generate like a Kelly Green for the. Like,
and that's what I'm saying. Like, I really feel just a little touch. I mean, that's where you start off. I mean, that's what Seattle did. They started off little, and look, now they blew that thing up.
Yeah, now they look like they're hurting my eyes on Thursday.
And I get it. It's an annoying. It's an annoying color at times, for sure. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I mean, whoever put it together was a genius.
Right.
You got to admit that part. The one thing to this day, I've never put on that yellow or blue jersey. Never put on those colors, never put on a hat. And I will never do that, because I don't even know where the hell that came from. I'm glad. I'm glad I'm glad I never came across even owning one of those things. Again, the football season's here. We're excited. A lot of people are getting really, really excited with the videos that they're watching and the practices that are going on. This past week, Chris Sims, all right, he decided he wanted to come out with a list, stupid ass list. One list that'll definitely set me off. If you guys didn't catch the show on Tuesday, I went off. It had me in my feelings. But it felt good. It felt good. I was telling Gail this, like, it felt good coming out of that shell, because I feel like we've all been in the shell for a while with the pandemic and everything. But I opened up, I let loose, I spoke my mind on the situation. But if you look at this list right here, it is the stupidest shit anybody could ever put together. I mean, like, some of these guys, I don't even understand how they could even have the privilege to be on this top 40.
Burrow.
Yeah.
First of all, Macaulay didn't even play long enough. Y'all need to put Macaulay off the list. He doesn't even count right now.
One that really just irks the shit out of me is Cam Newton. Like, I don't even understand how I'm not a Cam Newton fan. Nothing against him, but I'm just not a Cam Newton fan. And last year and the year before that, I thought he was just trash. I really thought he was like booty. And here he's on the top 20. Like, it's just mind-boggling on seeing this list. And the more and more I see it, the more and more I get aggravated. But I'm not trying to get at that level I was at on Tuesday.
No. I mean, it's understandable, because a lot of these names, you can tell it's just, what is it? Is it just stuff he thought about, he saw as far as trending in the last year? And that's why, like, is this based on how popular they were? Because if that's the case, then Tom Brady should be number one, because he won the damn thing last year. I mean, Brady's been the blueprint, unfortunately. And then you can have Patrick, because, Patrick got his finally. And then Josh Allen should be a little lower, because he has just gotten started. And at this point, I'm like, Yeah, some of this stuff like Mac Jones, Jared Goff, give me a break. Like, come on.
I love Mark's comment. Mark's been on fire with these comments. Yeah, Chris Sims is the poster.
Why you should never procreate. Exactly.
Green right X. Shift the Viper right.
Green right X.
Green right X. Shift the Viper right. 382 X stick looky.
Here we go, guys. Green right X. Shift the Viper right. 382 Y stick looky. I'm one. Ready? X stick looky. I'm one.
Let's go scatter to west right tight. F left. 372 Y stick Z spot.
Here we go. Scatter to west right tight. F left. 382 Y stick Z.
Christ. Just go scatter to west right tight. F left.
Yeah.
372 Y stick Z spot.
Here we go. Scattered. Say it again.
Scatter to west right tight. F left. 372 Y stick Z spot.
Here we go. Scattered to
west right tight.
Scatter to west right tight. F left. 382. 372.
Y stick
Y
Z spot.
Z spot. I'm ready.
Christ. Huh?
I'm the problem.
Making you nervous, aren't I?
No, I just couldn't spit it out.
Could spit out. You're horrible, dude. Like, I mean, you can't even get that together. I mean, don't get me wrong. You had to definitely be at that level to know how to go ahead and repeat all that. But I mean, come on. Like,
it got to the point where he lost his confidence halfway through. He's like, you know what? Start it again. Line. What's my line?
Yeah. I would even be scared to go ask that man where he would put himself on that list. That's like, I'm like really curious of where he would even put himself.
I would hope he would be humble enough to say, I don't deserve a place right now. Like, you're damn right you don't. And that list alone, you know, I need you to just go donate that to science.
Yeah, it's
what is that?
That's crazy. Well, what is one of the things you are definitely looking forward to this upcoming season?
Okay, so honestly, now that because I used to work there as a event staffer, so it's like I don't miss physically having to stand, but I do miss the loud music. I miss hearing everybody screaming all day. I miss hearing hoarse voices by the end of the night. You know, everybody hyped leaving the link. You know, traffic, especially after a win, when everybody doesn't care where they're going, they're just kind of just so happy. I just miss that rush. And I think that's, especially with quarantine, I think every professional sport knows why the fans are so valuable now. So when you don't have that rush of adrenaline and passion and excitement in the air, it's missed. You know, football wasn't that great last year, obviously with our team, hardly. And, you know, I think 2021 hopefully will be the year that we kind of bring that energy back. Because if there's one thing I did love about Vic's run here in Philly was that he brought the energy, you know, until he couldn't anymore, until literally his hamstring was like, no, sir, we're done, you know. But I miss the energy, and I definitely miss the trash talking during games on Twitter, because now that I'm not working, I can trash talk all day. You know, I had to work and I had to sell raffle tickets, so it's like I'd be half doing it and half trying to sell to people. But I think okay, I love you, Jordan, but the Rocky thing, I'm tired of the Rocky stuff. Like, we need to let it go. Like, we need another warm up or something to get us hyped. Like, I had the Tiger, praise the Lord. We just need to let it go. Like, we need another, like, I'm even sick of Meek's song. Like, we got to get off of it. Like, that was 2018. We need to find another, get him on the floor. Get him on. I know I hurt so many people's feelings, but it's just but I just miss the people though.
But now listen, at the end of the day, this is what this is all about: speaking the truth, speaking what's on your mind. So I agree with you. You know, I love the Meek song. You know, when it comes on, it's got to catch me at the right moment. If it doesn't catch me at the right moment, I'm with you. Like, hey, we gotta let that one go. Rocky, I'm gonna go ahead and challenge you on that one, because that's my man's. You know what I mean? Like, I grew up believing in Rocky, and I don't care if Gail throws the meme up. You know what I mean? Of him looking at me crazy. I'm that guy who praises that Rocky statue. You know, I love that dude. I'll give you one little thing about me when I was a baby, or when I was young, when I was, little one. My mom's would throw on Rocky 3, and I was that kid that cried every time it ended.
Oh,
Play it
I don't
over
even
and
remember
over and
Rocky
over
III.
and over. So when that movie comes on now, I literally sit there and I watch the whole damn thing.
Well,
That was the one. That was the one that had Mr. T. It was Mr. T. Yeah, it was
yeah,
Mr.
Kimura,
T.
for those who about to rock.
It was Mr. T. It was Hulk Hogan. It was
Oh, yeah,
when
Hulk Hogan back in the
when
day.
Mick passed away. It was one of the greatest Rockies. You know, what I mean, then Ford came out. Ivan Drago. That was one of my favorites as well. But
Everybody's offended. I'm sorry. Look, I'm from the suburbs, so that's probably why I don't really blunt. I guess I'm sick of hearing it also too. Certain things that they play over and over when we're losing, it doesn't help anymore. Like it's kind of like,
so you got me there. I'm
you know
on
what I'm
board with
saying?
that. You're
When they
absolutely
keep
right.
playing it when we're down like
Yeah.
15,000 touchdowns, it's like I don't want to hear Rocky anymore.
Yeah.
Like I want somebody to honestly get on the mic and be like, "You suck," and just shut it down. You know
And
what
it's
I mean?
cool. Like it's cool. Like you're right. I mean, just that one time, get you all amped up, and then that's it. Leave it alone.
And
You
that's
don't have,
it. You
yeah,
know,
you don't have to keep on playing. And it's the same thing with the Meek. You know what I mean? Like let it be.
right?
And then, but the minute you go ahead and throw it back on, it's like, oh man, like come on, right now it's
You
not.
got to
that
earn
fun.
the dreams and nightmares.
Yeah.
Like even when they were playing it during the Sixers, it's
Yeah.
like they're losing and they keep losing. So this
And they
is a
keep-
nightmare.
And they
It's been
keep playing the
certified.
game. They keep
It
playing
doesn't
the
help.
game.
They're coming back from commercial break, and you can see Tobias going like, "I just want to go home."
Yeah.
You know.
So yeah, I mean, so what's your fear going into the season?
Fear is getting too excited about how good they could possibly, like getting too overzealous about what could be when we don't really know what we're working with in terms of the as a team to get excited about. Like I don't want people walking in here. I mean, you don't necessarily have to be like, and with the 17th game now, it's kind of like, okay, it could be either an extra week of excruciation, or it could just be, I don't even know if that's a word. I think I made it up. But it could either be an extra week of pain, or it could be another week to be like really, really hyped before, postseason. I'm just worried about getting my hopes up that they could possibly have like, I don't know, because we don't have our bye until later this year. So it's like I don't want everybody to be like if they win the first 3 games that here we go, Super Bowl, like we normally do. I just want us to just take every game as, okay, hopefully this will be better the next week. You know what I mean? Like just roll with the fact that we're back in football season and not have too high of expectations.
Yeah, I mean,
so I have extreme fear of failure. That's my life though.
So I gotta kind of counter with the fact that what I'm scared of is going through that shit that we went through last season again.
Right, yeah. That's
not saying that it's gonna happen. I'm hoping to God you got a new coaching staff, new energy, new attitude, but I can't go through another season like that. I mean, I really can't. It was
What the hell is even that?
I put all this together, got all hyped up for that season, and it was one of the most dreadful seasons that I went through.
Or just slow, just like almost like Chinese water torture. Like I just don't want to sit there and just like feel like every game is like, because there were so many games last year where even with Carson, I was even going as a fan. I'm like, yo, what is wrong with you?
Hello, motherfucker.
I mean, that's how we're gonna feel if Carson's first game is a bust. And I ain't gonna lie, if we're like sky high, part of me is gonna be, as much as I love Carson too, I'm still kind of like we're undefeated. What you doing? So there's gonna be a little part of me that's gonna feel like, but we want the draft pick if he's 75%, whatever the thing was, but the stat.
It's a tough situation no matter what. At the end of the day, you're gonna have to root for him because you said it yourself. You want that first round pick, so you gotta get him to go ahead and play out that season. One of the things I like to do is give people the opportunity to ask some questions. So, and you guys out there that are tuning in, or the ones that are here watching, if you guys have any questions, put them together. Send them over. Gail will go ahead and pick a couple, and then we're going to go ahead and ask Miss AJ Jones about them. But before that, how about me? You know what I mean? Anything you need to know about Prime? What's good? What can I help you with?
What has been your fixation, obviously, with the Prime helmet? Where did that love come from? Because obviously it's Transformers thing, right? Because I love that. I grew up with the Transformers too.
Yeah. So It is definitely a Transformer thing. Transformers was my favorite cartoon in the 80s. Saturday mornings, I would get up early, piss off my mom and my dad, because I was up at the crack of dawn, waiting for the best cartoons in the world. And I'm gonna say it, they were the best cartoons.
They were.
And just sitting there with my cereal. I love cereal. To this day, I still love cereal.
Yep.
And
Same.
yeah, Transformers was my thing. Optimus Prime, Megatron, the battles those two would go through. Bumblebee. So my love, for the Eagles and collaborating that with the Prime, it was just like a moment. It was nothing that I intended to do. What it was, and it's just a quick story where I saw this Prime mask sitting at a flea market. I walked by, I saw it, and I'm like, oh shit, like I need that. I get it. And then I go to my boy who does my airbrushing, and we started talking, and I was like, yo, is there anything that you could do to this? Let him go ahead and go at it. He calls me up. He was like, look, I'm done. I got something for you. I go pick it up, and I'm like, wow, like it was crazy. Then, as people were seeing me with this helmet, before I even met 4th and John, before I even came across the tailgates and all that stuff, I would be at the stadium. I remember I would be that lonesome guy going to the games by myself and sitting there in a crowd of people with the helmets. You had some people that, of course. Yeah, that
AUTOBOTs.
wow, yeah. That was probably the best meme that he came out with so far. I love that right there.
Yes, that's classic though. You have to give it to
that was definitely classic.
That is definitely a good science project right there.
But yeah, I mean, like I just put the 2 and 2 together, and then like with guys calling me Prime out of nowhere and giving me that name, E-Rock, he from a distance would be like, hey, Prime. And at one point it didn't catch on. But then like as it caught on, I was like, oh shit, like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and flow with this.
It works.
And and it's been like that ever since. And as you can see, it's just the passion and the love that I just build, and now I got it going on. So,
I was cracking up because when I would see you guys, see you do little skits where it would be like people in the tailgate, and then all of a sudden you just show up and just turn your head and look, and I'm like, this is hilarious. It almost became like a Where's Waldo? It's like, where's Prime?
Yeah.
Turn around and just be like looking at people, stand behind people. Yes, see, I had to witness it. I was like, it was hot that day, but yeah, like I definitely love it because I had the gun. I had Megatron. My sister had Optimus Prime.
Okay.
And I was more of a Gem. Shout out to the 80s cartoons. A Gem, She-Ra, He-Man girl. Like I had all the collectibles. So She-Ra was my symbol of strength for women.
Yeah.
For the honor of Grayskull. I had the sword. I had the pink sword, and then I had He-Man's sword, but then I either broke it or lost it. Something happened. And I went to the Civic Center tour. Okay, we're going way back. Civic Center back in the day, and I went to the Masters of the Universe tour. That was the best tour
I was
ever.
there too.
You were there too.
That was my
when he does like for the honor of Grayskull, and everybody stood up with their oh, I was such a geek. I loved it. I had the poster when they because they had explained why they were brother and sister, and I had that poster in my room. Yeah, come on now, don't mess with me with our cartoons had depth. That's the problem. Our cartoons had depth.
Absolutely.
Okay? Absolutely. We weren't just violent. We had stories. Gem was deep. Look at
So we were giving Gail to go ahead and get the opportunity to get some questions together. So Gail, throw a couple questions up there. Let's see if we can get Miss AJ to answer some of them. AJ, what do you recommend for a fellow Lady Birds fan to get started in podcasting?
Hello, Maura. I think that honestly, there's so many platforms now. I was actually playing around with something because now I do something every now and then with my friend Eddie from when I used to go to UArts, and he graduated. I didn't, but he became my fellow friend who used to respect the fact that I love sports. And me and Eddie sometimes do the co-ed edition. When I started with Anchor, and then basically Anchor kind of vibed with Spotify, and so every time we would upload through our phone because I didn't have to be in the same room, and then I would upload it through that app. And the app would, I hear that. Sorry, ADD got it. But yes, if you want to do podcasting, you can look at any platform now. I used Riverside.fm too, because that's more of the visual, almost like, I hear you, baby. And so, yeah, girls like that, just find any excuse to talk about anything. and just vent. And you don't have to worry about whether you're right or wrong necessarily because it's your opinion. But I think that all females should have more of a presence because, I mean, look at us in sports. I mean, there's more women. The WNBA is finally getting more coverage. We just have to give women the right to talk as well as other rights. We're not going to go there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
Absolutely. Well, before we go to our next question, I wanted to go ahead and actually surprise you with a quick visit. All right. I asked the wifey to bring down baby Prawn so you can say hi to him. Say hi. Say hi.
Look at his face. He's like, I don't know what I'm looking at. Hi, Lucky. Hey. He is so precious.
Hello, motherfucker.
Stop it. Hi.
Leave it to Gail.
Hello. Hello. He's so adorable. He's
hi.
like, look, he feel the spirit. You feel the spirit? Yeah. Oh.
That's one of your biggest supporters there, buddy.
I love you, Lucky. I love you so much. I love you. He's so cute. How old is he now? Hi, sweetie. He's one. And how old is your daughter?
She's 4.
4.
Yeah,
that girl got some hair. I tell you, she's gonna be throwing that hair back when she get older. She's gonna be like, what?
Luckily she got that from her mom because she ain't definitely get that from me. She's blessed with that hair.
Yes, Lucky. He's like, yep. Oh, I love it. He just puts his little boo-boo in there. Yeah, there. See, he knows. I'm gonna plug it up, but I'm gonna keep the hand out.
Yeah, these two are a blessing. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Daddy got to finish. Daddy got to finish the show.
Lucky. We're so good to see you.
Go ahead, go with mommy. All right. Thanks, man.
I love him.
AJ, who's your Eagles crush?
Oh, Lord.
From Todd.
Well, I seem to always have an affinity for the tight ends. So I'm gonna say right now who's left now that Ertz possibly may be a Bill and they need to free him and stop playing. But Ertz was my crush for a while. Before that, it was LJ Smith. So obviously I have a tight end fetish. So this year,
Say less.
Say less. Now it's going to be Dallas Goedert. And Dallas Goedert, I bidded on the Eagles autism thing last year, and I was supposed to have a video chat with Dallas and Avante, and then it never happened because part of that prize was to get a paint night with Trey Thomas, which that happened, but the times got confused, and I never got to talk to Dallas or Avante. So now somebody at the Eagles autism is still trying to make it happen. So Lord knows, because I got me and 3 other girls waiting because we still want to talk to him. Because one of the girls is determined to ask Dallas if he's half black. So we think Dallas might be mixed with something. He just don't know because he's a little soulful. Yeah. Shut up. But to answer your question right now, I would say Dallas Goedert. But I'm starting to look at Jalen a little differently now. At first, I was kind of like, all right, Black Ice with your lines in your hair. But his confidence is really what makes him cute. And the tongue thing. The tongue is the tongue thing. He needs to stop doing that. Yeah.
Crushing on the quarterback.
Yeah. But normally I'm a tight ends. Normally I'm a tight ends girl. So yeah, it started with LJ Smith, and then it just seemed like every tight end after that was pretty cute. So I stay with the tight ends.
That's cool. Yeah, Mark, it does seem like she has a tight end fetish. So no,
not Dick Rod. No, not Dick Rod. He's the one exception. I don't know. He's definitely good for catching in the end zone. That's for sure. As tall as he is, but I'm about him. I'm just kind of like, I don't know. She said Jesus. Yeah. I do love the hashtag though during the season. Dick Rod. Anyway, go ahead.
I like to do something special, something that we kind of started a few weeks back. A couple weeks ago, we did it with Giovanni. I like to give people the opportunity to win some prizes, something I enjoy. So with that being said, I got a question for you guys that are tuning in. First want to answer. And then again, please remember, if you won already, we want to be fair to other people. Your time will come around again, but I just want to go ahead and make sure that we give the opportunity to everybody else. So Gail, if you're back there, if you could throw that question up. First one to go ahead and answer. This week's prize is going to be a car headrest. I guess this is what they call it. Eagles headrest cover. All right. For your vehicles. All right, of course. And then I'm gonna go ahead and throw some Prime stickers in there. All right. Some 4th and John stickers as well. And you'll know that it's coming from me because got that special package.
Ding.
All right.
Ding.
So you put the question up there, buddy?
He did.
I guess you did.
Oh, oh.
I guess you did. Mark. Okay, Mark.
He's like, fall back, homie.
Okay, Mark. I'm gonna be fair, Mark. You won something on Fourth and John podcast. This is your win on Prime's podcast. So I'll be fair. It's fair enough. All right. So Mark, you came up with the answer. I'm not sure that the question come across. I did. Okay, I missed it because I was over here grabbing the stuff. But for those that didn't catch it, the question was, who was Randall Cunningham dating back in the day that was a star, and it was Whitney Houston. I clearly forgot about that relationship until it was brought back to my attention by Gail.
Oh yeah.
And Miss AJ Jones here, so it definitely made me think about that. And I think we were talking highly about it, like when this relationship was going on. It started getting a little crazy and shit. But hey, you know what I mean?
Somebody wants some stickers.
Yeah, Todd. Listen, hit me up, man. We'll make something happen. You know what I mean? Especially because of the fact that you guys tune in. But hey, look. This is a privilege. I mean, we went 40 minutes. This is my longest show ever.
Hey, see, got the raps. My bad.
Yeah, no, it's cool. Like, mad love. Like, I appreciate it. I mean, I think it went real well, and we hit on.
It's fun.
Yeah, we touched on quite a bit of stuff. But I definitely want to thank you for taking the time to join me tonight. This was fun.
You.
I was actually looking forward to this, especially because of the fact of how much love you showed me and the boys. And I mean, Dan, you got to see Baby Prime. I made sure at the end of the day that happened. So again, if you guys are ever interested in joining me, like Miss AJ Jones did,
I have the power.
hit me up on the DM. We'll make something happen. We'll definitely jot you down for one of the episodes, so we could go ahead and put you on the spot, so that way people can get to know who you are and your passion for the Eagles. So again, with that being said, I want to go ahead and thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate all of you guys. We will be back in a couple weeks for episode 8, so just stay tuned for that. At the end of the day, you know what it is. It's fly, you can fly. See you guys.